The Banshee, Ireland's wailing spirit. Welcome to Irish Ghost Stories, where we delve into the eerie and mysterious tales that haunt the Emerald Isle. In this episode, we explore the legend of the Banshee, one of Ireland's most famous and feared supernatural beings. Known for her mournful wail that foretells death, the Banshee has haunted the Irish landscape for centuries. Join us as we uncover the origins of this chilling spirit and explore the places across Ireland where she is said to roam. Introduction to the Banshee legend. The Banshee, or Binside in Irish, translates to a fairy woman. She is often depicted as a ghostly figure who appears to warn families of impending death. The Banshee's wail is her most distinctive feature, described as a mournful cry that can be heard for miles. Her appearance varies in folklore, sometimes described as a beautiful young woman, other times as a haggard old crone. Regardless of her form, the Banshee is always associated with foreboding and death. The Banshee legend has deep roots in Irish mythology and folklore. She is believed to be a spirit tied to certain families, particularly those of noble descent. Historically, these families were said to have a personal Banshee who would appear to warn them of a family member's impending death. Over time, the legend expanded to encompass all Irish families, and the Banshee became a widespread symbol of death and mourning. The origins of the Banshee legend are tied to ancient Celtic beliefs in the supernatural and the afterlife. The Celts believed that spirits and fairies inhabited the natural world, and the Banshee was one of these spirits. Her role as a harbinger of death reflects the Celtic view of death as a natural and inevitable part of life, but one that is accompanied by mourning and sorrow. The Banshee's wail is said to be heard just before the death of a family member, often at night. The sound is described as a mixture of keening, a traditional lament for the dead, the howling of the wind, and the cry of a woman in distress. Hearing the Banshee's wail is a chilling experience that has been reported in various parts of Ireland for centuries. The Banshee at the Rock of Dunamase. The Rock of Dunamase, located in County Louth, is an ancient hilltop fortress with a history that stretches back to the early medieval period. This site is not only known for its historical significance but also for its association with the Banshee. According to local legend, the Banshee haunts the ruins of Dunamase, her wail echoing through the valley below. The fortress has a long and turbulent history, having been the site of numerous battles and sieges. The Banshee is said to appear before major conflicts or tragedies, her cry a warning of the bloodshed to come. Many who have visited the Rock of Dunamase at night have reported hearing her mournful wail, describing it as a sound that chills the soul and fills the listener with a sense of impending doom. One of the most famous tales involves a local family who lived near the Rock of Dunamase. According to the story, the family heard the Banshee's wail on a stormy night, and the next day, a beloved family member was found dead. The family believed that the Banshee had come to warn them of the tragedy, and her appearance became a part of their family lore. Visitors to the Rock of Dunamase often report feeling an eerie presence, especially during twilight and night hours. The ruins themselves, with their crumbling walls and overgrown pathways, create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the Banshee's haunting. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the Rock of Dunamase is a place where the past feels palpably present, and the legend of the Banshee adds an extra layer of mystery and fear. The Banshee of Cagy Island. Cagy Island, a fictional location made famous by the television show Father Ted, has its roots in the rural life in Lough Gur, one of the Aran Islands off the coast of County Galway. The island's remote location and rugged landscape make it a perfect setting for tales of the supernatural, including sightings of the Banshee. The Banshee of Cagy Island is said to be a particularly fearsome spirit, appearing as a tall, gaunt woman with long, flowing hair and eyes that burn with an unnatural light. Her wail is described as piercing and relentless, a sound that can drive those who hear it to madness. According to local folklore, the Banshee appears before the death of any islander, her presence a grim reminder of the inevitability of death. One of the most famous stories from Cagy Island involves a fisherman who encountered the Banshee while returning home late one night. As he neared his cottage, he heard the Banshee's wail and saw her standing on a cliff overlooking the sea. Terrified, he ran home and told his family what he had seen. The next morning, the fisherman's brother was found dead, confirming the Banshee's grim warning. Residents of Ennis still speak of the Banshee with a mixture of fear and respect. While sightings are rare, the legend persists, and many islanders believe that the Banshee continues to watch over the island, ready to deliver her mournful cry when death approaches. The Banshee of Cagy Island is a powerful symbol of the island's connection to the supernatural. Her presence is a reminder of the thin veil between life and death, and the respect that must be shown to the forces beyond our understanding. For visitors to the Aran Islands, the legend of the Banshee adds an element of mystery and fear to the already stunning and rugged landscape. The Banshee of Kilkenny Castle. Kilkenny Castle, a majestic and historic fortress located in the heart of Kilkenny City, is not only known for its architectural beauty and historical significance but also for its association with the Banshee. The castle has been the seat of the powerful Butler family for centuries, and it is said that the family's personal Banshee haunts the castle grounds. The Banshee of Kilkenny Castle is described as a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair and a mournful expression. Her wail is said to be particularly piercing and sorrowful, a sound that can be heard echoing through the castle's halls and gardens. According to legend, the Banshee appears before the death of any member of the Butler family, her cry a harbinger of tragedy. One of the most famous stories involves Lady Margaret Butler, who lived in the castle during the 17th century. According to the tale, Lady Margaret heard the Banshee's wail one night while walking in the castle gardens. The next day, she received news that her husband had died in battle. The Banshee's warning became part of the family lore, and sightings of the spirit continued to be reported over the years. Visitors to Kilkenny Castle have also reported encountering the Banshee. Some have heard her wail while exploring the castle's halls, describing it as a sound that sends shivers down the spine. Others have seen her apparition in the gardens, her figure appearing and disappearing among the ancient trees and hedges. The Banshee's presence adds an eerie and mystical dimension to Kilkenny Castle. While the castle itself is a testament to Ireland's rich history and heritage, the legend of the Banshee reminds visitors of the supernatural forces that are said to dwell within its walls. Whether you believe in the Banshee or not, a visit to Kilkenny Castle is sure to leave you with a sense of wonder and awe. The Banshee of Dromore Woods. Dromore Woods, located in County Clare, is a beautiful and serene natural area known for its diverse wildlife and ancient woodlands. However, beneath its tranquil surface lies a darker side, with numerous reports of the Banshee's haunting presence. The woods are said to be home to a particularly vengeful Banshee, whose wail is feared by all who hear it. The Banshee of Dromore Woods is described as an old, haggard woman with wild hair and eyes that burn with an unnatural fire. Her wail is said to be so piercing and relentless that it can drive those who hear it to madness. According to local legend, the Banshee appears before the death of anyone who ventures into the woods at night, her presence a warning of the dangers that lurk within. One of the most famous stories from Dromore Woods involves a young couple who went for a walk in the woods one evening. As they made their way through the ancient trees, they heard the Banshee's wail and saw her standing on a hill, her figure silhouetted against the moonlit sky. Terrified, they fled the woods, only to discover the next day that one of their friends had died in a car accident. The Banshee's warning had come too late to save him. Visitors to Dromore Woods often report feeling an eerie presence, especially during twilight and night hours. The ancient trees and winding paths create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the Banshee's haunting. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, Dromore Woods is a place where the past feels palpably present, and the legend of the Banshee adds an extra layer of mystery and fear. The Banshee of Ballygally Castle. Ballygally Castle, located on the Antrim coast, is a stunning 17th-century castle that has been converted into a luxury hotel. While the castle offers picturesque views and a tranquil stay, it is also known for its ghostly residents, including a banshee who is said to haunt its halls. The Banshee of Ballygally Castle is described as a young woman dressed in white, her face pale and her eyes filled with sorrow. Her wail is often heard in the dead of night, echoing through the castle's corridors and causing those who hear it to wake in a cold sweat. According to legend, the banshee appears before the death of any guest or staff member associated with the castle. One of the most famous stories involves Lady Isabella Shore, who is believed to be the Banshee of Ballygally Castle. According to the tale, Lady Isabella was locked in the tower by her husband and eventually fell to her death. Her spirit is said to have remained in the castle, and her mournful wail is a warning of impending tragedy. Guests who have stayed at Ballygally Castle have reported hearing the banshee's wail and feeling an eerie presence in their rooms. Some have even seen her apparition, describing her as a ghostly figure who appears and disappears without a trace. The staff of the castle are well aware of the banshee's presence and often share their own encounters with curious visitors. The banshee's presence adds an element of mystery and fear to Ballygally Castle. While the castle itself is a beautiful and historic building, the legend of the banshee reminds guests of the supernatural forces that are said to dwell within its walls. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a stay at Ballygally Castle is sure to be an unforgettable experience. The Banshee of Cave Hill. Cave Hill, located near Belfast in County Antrim, is a striking landmark that offers stunning views of the city and the surrounding countryside. The hill is also steeped in history and folklore, and it is said to be haunted by a banshee whose wail can be heard echoing through the caves and cliffs. The Banshee of Cave Hill is described as an ethereal figure with long, flowing hair and a mournful expression. Her wail is said to be particularly haunting, a sound that carries through the air and fills those who hear it with a sense of dread. According to local legend, the banshee appears before the death of anyone who ventures too close to the cliffs or caves, her presence a warning of the dangers that lie ahead. One of the most famous stories involves a group of hikers who encountered the banshee while exploring Cave Hill. As they made their way along the narrow paths, they heard the banshee's wail and saw her standing on a cliff overlooking Belfast. Terrified, they quickly retreated, only to learn later that one of their friends had died in a tragic accident. The banshee's warning had come too late to save him. Visitors to Cave Hill often report feeling an eerie presence, especially when exploring the caves and cliffs. The hill's rugged landscape and ancient history create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the banshee's haunting. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, Cave Hill is a place where the past feels palpably present, and the legend of the banshee adds an extra layer of mystery and fear. The banshee's presence adds an element of mystique to Cave Hill, making it a popular destination for those interested in the supernatural. The combination of stunning natural beauty and ghostly legends creates a unique and captivating experience for all who visit. The Banshee of Glendalough. Glendalough, located in County Wicklow, is a glacial valley renowned for its beautiful landscapes and rich history. The valley is home to the ruins of a monastic settlement founded by Saint Kevin in the 6th century, and it is this historical significance that adds an eerie dimension to the forest's beauty. The most famous ghost associated with Glendalough Forest is that of Saint Kevin himself. According to legend, Saint Kevin's spirit can be seen wandering the forest, particularly near the remains of his hermitage. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of chanting and seeing shadowy figures in monks' robes. Some have even seen the apparition of Saint Kevin, described as a tall, gaunt figure with a flowing beard. His presence is often accompanied by a sense of peace and reverence. Another spectral presence in Glendalough Forest is that of a woman in white, believed to be the spirit of a pilgrim who died on her way to the monastery. The woman's ghost is often seen near the ancient round tower, her figure gliding silently through the trees. Witnesses have described hearing her mournful cries and feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness when encountering her apparition. The tragic tale of the pilgrim adds a somber and eerie atmosphere to the forest. The forest is also said to be haunted by the spirits of monks who once lived in the monastic settlement. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of bells ringing and footsteps echoing through the ruins. The presence of these monk spirits adds a haunting reminder of the forest's historical and religious significance. Glendalough Forest's combination of natural beauty and ghostly legends makes it a popular destination for both outdoor enthusiasts and those interested in the paranormal. The forest offers a variety of trails for walking and hiking, allowing visitors to explore its scenic landscapes and historical sites. The enchanting beauty of the forest, coupled with its eerie tales, creates a unique and captivating experience. Whether you're exploring the ruins of the monastic settlement, walking along the shores of the glacial lakes, or venturing into the forest's ancient woodlands, you'll feel the presence of the past and the lingering spirits of those who once called Glendalough Forest home. The combination of historical significance and paranormal activity makes the forest a must-visit for anyone interested in Ireland's haunted forests. The Banshee of Rossmore Forest Park. Rossmore Forest Park in County Monaghan is a picturesque location with a dark and haunted past. The park covers over 320 acres and features a variety of landscapes, including ancient woodlands, lakes, and the ruins of Rossmore Castle. While the beauty of the park attracts visitors year-round, it is also known for its ghostly inhabitants. The most famous haunting associated with Rossmore Forest Park is that of the headless horseman who rides through the forest at night. According to legend, the horseman is the ghost of a man who was decapitated in a tragic accident near the castle ruins. His ghostly figure is often seen galloping through the park's wooded trails, his presence accompanied by the sound of hooves and the sight of a shadowy figure on horseback. The headless horseman adds a chilling and eerie atmosphere to the park. Another spectral presence in Rossmore Forest Park is that of a woman who drowned in the nearby lake. Her ghost is often seen near the water, her mournful cries echoing through the trees. Witnesses have described seeing a ghostly figure in a white dress, her apparition appearing and disappearing without a trace. The tragic tale of the drowned woman adds a somber and eerie dimension to the park's beautiful landscapes. The park is also said to be haunted by the spirits of those who once lived in Rossmore Castle. The castle, built in the 19th century, was abandoned in the early 20th century and fell into ruin. Visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, and doors opening and closing on their own. Some have even seen ghostly figures in period clothing wandering the castle ruins. The presence of these spirits adds a haunting reminder of the castle's tragic history. Rossmore Forest Park's combination of natural beauty and ghostly legends makes it a unique and fascinating destination. The park offers a variety of trails for walking, hiking, and cycling, allowing visitors to explore its scenic landscapes and historical sites. The enchanting beauty of the park, coupled with its eerie tales, creates a captivating experience for all who visit. Whether you're exploring the ruins of Rossmore Castle, walking along the shores of the lake, or venturing into the park's ancient woodlands, you'll feel the presence of the past and the lingering spirits of those who once called Rossmore Forest Park home. The combination of historical significance and paranormal activity makes the park a must-visit for anyone interested in Ireland's haunted forests. The Banshee of the Burren. The Burren, located in County Clare, is a unique and otherworldly landscape known for its limestone pavements, rare flora, and ancient archaeological sites. Amidst its rugged beauty, the Burren is also said to be haunted by a banshee, whose mournful wail has been heard echoing through the rocky valleys and hills. The Banshee of the Burren is often described as a spectral figure with long, flowing hair and a cloak that billows in the wind. Her cries are said to foretell the death of anyone who hears them, particularly those who venture too far into the desolate landscape. According to local legend, the Banshee appears at twilight, when the light fades and the shadows lengthen. One notable story involves a shepherd who lived in the Burren many years ago. One evening, as he was tending to his flock, he heard a chilling wail that seemed to come from the very rocks themselves. Terrified, he hurried home, only to find that his wife had fallen gravely ill. She passed away the next morning, and the shepherd believed that the Banshee's wail had been a warning of her impending death. Visitors to the Burren have also reported eerie encounters with the Banshee. Hikers and nature enthusiasts exploring the area have heard unexplained cries and seen ghostly figures moving among the limestone formations. These experiences add an element of mystery and fear to an already hauntingly beautiful landscape. The Banshee of the Burren serves as a reminder of the area's rich history and deep connection to the supernatural. The Burren's unique geology and ancient sites create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the Banshee's haunting presence. For those who visit, the legend of the Banshee adds an extra layer of intrigue to their exploration of this remarkable region. The Banshee of Rathlin Island. Rathlin Island, located off the coast of County Antrim, is a place of stunning natural beauty and rich history. However, it is also known for its eerie and supernatural occurrences, including sightings of a banshee who is said to haunt the island. The Banshee of Rathlin Island is described as a tall, gaunt woman with long, flowing hair and eyes that seem to pierce the soul. Her wail is said to be a chilling and mournful cry that echoes across the island, foretelling the death of an islander. According to local folklore, the Banshee appears at night, especially during storms, her presence a grim reminder of the island's tragic past. One well-known story involves a lighthouse keeper who encountered the Banshee while tending to his duties. On a stormy night, he heard the Banshee's wail and saw her standing on a cliff overlooking the sea. The next morning, he discovered that a ship had wrecked off the coast and several crew members had perished. The lighthouse keeper believed that the Banshee's wail had been a warning of the tragedy. Island residents still speak of the Banshee with a mixture of fear and reverence. While sightings are rare, the legend persists, and many believe that the Banshee continues to watch over Rathlin Island, ready to deliver her mournful cry when death approaches. For visitors to Rathlin Island, the legend of the Banshee adds an element of mystery and fear to the island's rugged beauty. Whether exploring the cliffs, visiting the lighthouse, or simply taking in the stunning views, the presence of the Banshee serves as a reminder of the island's deep connection to the supernatural and the thin veil between life and death. The Banshee of Lough Gur. Lough Gur, a horseshoe-shaped lake in County Limerick, is steeped in history and legend. The area around the lake is dotted with ancient archaeological sites, including stone circles, burial mounds, and crannogs. Amidst this rich historical landscape, the Banshee is said to roam, her mournful wail a harbinger of death. The Banshee of Lough Gur is described as a spectral figure with long, flowing hair and a pale, sorrowful face. Her cries are said to echo across the lake, particularly on misty evenings when the water is calm. According to local legend, the Banshee appears to warn of the death of anyone connected to the area, her presence a reminder of the lake's ancient past. One famous story involves a local farmer who lived near Lough Gur. One evening, he heard the Banshee's wail and saw her standing by the water's edge. The next day, he received news that his brother had died suddenly. The farmer believed that the Banshee's wail had been a warning of his brother's death. Visitors to Lough Gur often report feeling an eerie presence, especially when exploring the ancient sites around the lake. The stone circles and burial mounds create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the Banshee's haunting. Some visitors have even heard unexplained cries and seen ghostly figures near the water, adding to the area's mystique. The Banshee of Lough Gur serves as a reminder of the lake's deep connection to Ireland's ancient past and its supernatural folklore. For those who visit, the legend of the Banshee adds an extra layer of intrigue and fear to their exploration of this historically significant and beautiful area. The Banshee of Ballymacool Park. Ballymacool Park, located in Letterkenny, County Donegal, is a serene and picturesque park known for its beautiful landscapes and tranquil atmosphere. However, beneath its peaceful surface lies a darker side, with numerous reports of a banshee haunting the area. The Banshee of Ballymacool Park is described as a ghostly woman with long, flowing hair and a mournful expression. Her wail is said to be a chilling and sorrowful cry that echoes through the park, particularly at night. According to local legend, the Banshee appears before the death of anyone connected to the park, her presence a warning of impending tragedy. One notable story involves a local family who lived near Ballymacool Park. One evening, as they were walking through the park, they heard the Banshee's wail and saw her standing under a tree. The next day, they discovered that a close family friend had passed away suddenly. The family believed that the Banshee's wail had been a warning of the friend's death. Visitors to Ballymacool Park often report feeling an eerie presence, especially during twilight and night hours. The park's winding paths and ancient trees create an atmosphere that seems fitting for the Banshee's haunting. Some visitors have even seen ghostly figures moving among the trees and heard unexplained cries, adding to the park's mystique. The Banshee of Ballymacool Park serves as a reminder of the park's connection to the supernatural and the thin veil between life and death. For those who visit, the legend of the Banshee adds an extra layer of intrigue and fear to their exploration of this beautiful and tranquil area. Thank you for joining us on this haunted journey through the legend of the Banshee and the various places in Ireland where she is said to roam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more supernatural stories from around the world.